Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about a very common phenomenon occurring in the world, and that's suicide. You would be shocked to know that according to WHO, there are close to 800,000 people committing suicide every year. One person is dying every 40 seconds, and out of which 17% of them are residents of India. Approximately 135,000 people are residents of India. And it would interest you to know that suicide is the second leading cause of death for people aged between 15 to 29 years globally. Why are people feeling suicidal? What is the reason behind it? Well, the number one reason that I could think of is lack of fulfillment. This occurs when a person is not in sync with their inner spirit. Life gets very monotonous for them and they seek for excitement. And this excitement makes them to lean towards getting addicted to substances like chemical substances like drinking, alcohol, smoking, and even for that matter sex, a- adultery, extramarital relationships. The second reason could be because a person is not in a position to overcome the overwhelming situation. This could stem because of a financial issue, a relationship issue, illness, loss of a loved one, shame, guilt, and there could be many more. Why this happens? This happens because we are trained not to lose and we don't focus on winning. And when things don't happen the way it has to happen, we lose control and we just give up. The third reason is if existing mental disorders like anxiety and depression. Now imagine we have a cut and we immediately take care of us by attending to the cut. In case if we don't attend to the cut, it turns into a pus. But usually we don't let the cut reach that stage. But as far as our mental problems are concerned, as far as our emotional healings, emotional hurt is concerned, we don't do that. If a person is hurt, he has to attend to that hurt immediately. If that person is not attending and is not giving attention to that particular hurt, then there are chances that that hurt turns into something bigger later on, which could lead into anxiety and depression. The fourth reason is social anxiety disorder, and this usually happens with students because they are made to believe that there is only one door open for them to succeed. And they get lots of pressure from their education system, from their parents, from the society, and they kind of believe that if that particular door of either getting a degree or getting good marks in their exams doesn't happen, then then the life is over. And that's when most of the students give up on themselves and on their lives. Not just students, right? It happens with youth and it happens with us as well, middle aged people who are ought to believe that employment is the safest way of having a secured life. And that's why we are always concentrating on this particular road, wherein we are so much concentrating on this road that we are not even seeing the other possibilities available for us. This happens with everybody of us, every one of us. Don't you agree? The last reason is if a person has gone through some abuse, sexual, physical, or mental abuse. And as I said earlier, like the physical cut, these traumas, these abuse that people would have faced, they have to go through some counseling sessions. They have to go through some first aid. They have to go through the healing process for them to completely heal and move towards the new future. So, what is the solution for this? Well, there could be many solutions, but I would like to start with a story, and I hope this story correlates with each one of you. This is a story of a wise man and few people in the village. The people always used to come to the wise man to share their problems and seek advice, and the wise man diligently used to give them the piece of advice, and he used to ensure that the people in the village are happy. So once it so happened that people in the village all gathered together and approached the wise man to share their problems and seek advice. Like always, the wise man listened to all of their stories, and this time what he did was he cracked a joke. Listening to the joke, people there laughed continuously. And once they stopped, the wise man, what he did was he repeated the story again, and people were this time stunned. Only few people laughed. Only few people could manage to laugh. Others were wondering as to why exactly the wise man is repeating the story again. But it did not stop there. The wise man repeated the story for the third time, and this time nobody laughed. Everybody was shocked, and everybody didn't understand as to what was happening and why exactly the wise man was repeating the story over and over again. After a while, one person among the crowd came to the wise man and asked as to why exactly he was repeating the story over and over again. The wise man smiled and he said, "If you're not able to laugh at the same story over and over again, why are you worrying on the same problem over and over again?" So the point I'm trying to make here is, no matter who you are, no matter what adversities you've faced, no matter what challenges you've experienced, no matter how many setbacks or failures you've experienced, your core worth doesn't change. You don't lose your core worth because you're more than just a body and a mind. You are this powerful human spirit. It doesn't matter how many adversities you've gone through, mentally, physically. It may be abusive, it may be traumatic. But the point I'm trying to make here is it doesn't matter what are the physical experiences that you have gone through. It doesn't determine your core worth. Your core worth is determined based on who you are spiritually. If you just consider yourself as a body and a mind, and when you go through some adversities, your core worth diminishes because it is based on what people think about you, what people consider you, or what are their opinions about you. But on the other hand, if your core worth is dependent on the inner spirit and not just body and mind, you won't really be bothered about what other people think about you and what they have to say about you. It still remains the same. Your intrinsic value remains the same. You can be more creative, you can be more imaginative, you can be more resilient, provided the problems that you're facing, you don't feel that there are no solutions for it. And you don't keep hovering over it repeatedly. So please understand your core worth, move beyond problems, and move towards solutions.